Hello, welcome to Cool Discussions. Our little town hall meeting is going to go well.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Court is in session.
The reason that we're talking about town hall meetings, for those of you who don't know what town hall meetings is, when our government representatives or people get together and they talk about issues and they give their opinions. And
here in Canada, a couple of examples are what Justin Trudeau is doing right now. He's going around trying to drum up some grassroots supports because he's dropped in the polls, as well as for the election reform that Trudeau promised. He actually sent out a minister, a cabinet minister, to tour around Canada to talk to people about how we should change the voting system. And we all know how well that went.
So I think the reason that he's going to across Canada right now is because he's been criticized for taking a vacation with his family to
It wasn't just his family, though.
Well, he went with a bunch of billionaires and stuff like that.
He took a couple of liberal insiders too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
See, if it was just his family, because apparently his family knew the guy who owns the island, and he was just vacationing with him. That's fine. But he didn't clear it through. The ethics commission, which is something you're supposed to do because of conflict issues that could possibly arise because of this. Because the owner of the island takes money from the government.
So here we go again, another government official doing something they shouldn't be.
Yeah, well,
have we seen
this before? It's that sense of entitlement that the Liberals have.
But wait, did the Conservatives not do that as well in Alberta?
No. Oh, in Alberta, the PC party? Yes.
They took some jets somewhere that ended up in them having to sell all their jets and their planes and stuff like that. But anyways.
We digress.
So Justin Trudeau has started his tour across Canada. He's in Ontario right now, of course, because, Ontario is the center of Canada. Apparently.
No, Quebec is the center of Canada.
Whatever. Them Easties, whatever you want to call them. So he's just started that recently. He'll be in Alberta, I think the week after next, they said. He'll be in Alberta. So, if you're going to go, make sure you ask him tough questions.
He already has been asked a couple.
Apparently, the Liberals are introducing a carbon tax in, 2018 or some shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
We were already under a carbon tax in Alberta, so we're just going to have another tax on top of another tax. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah. Do they work? Do town halls work?
Okay, first off, town hall meetings, in full disclosure, neither one of us have gone.
Nope.
Why have you never gone?
Because I don't think they work.
Okay. I have never gone because they always happen during the time when I happen to work. I find that town hall meetings are either around dinner time, like around 6 o'clock, which is a very difficult time to, be not at home. Or they're during the day when you happen to be working. They're very seldom ever on weekends. I mean, very seldom. I don't think I ever recall one on the weekend ever.
They're not very well advertised either.
You
don't see you'll see a billboard or something like that, but who reads a stupid sign?
Sometimes you read the signs, but most of the time you don't.
Or they're in the newspaper.
Yeah, you never see ads online. You never see ads.
Never.
On TV, nothing. It's like
it's a billboard in the newspaper. The two most outdated forms of advertising in the world now.
Yeah, it's almost like when they host these things, they don't want people to know. They don't want nobody to show up. So it's right there. You're trying to make it accessible for people, and you want people for their input, but you make it so difficult for people to show up. That old people show up because they have nothing.
Well, because they buy the newspaper.
Yeah, I buy the newspaper, but I gloss over. I gloss over those things all the time because you see an ad in the paper, and it's just like it's an ad. It's an ad. And it looks like an ad because it's kind of what it is. But unless you're looking for it specifically, you could just literally just go.
It's a black and white piece of paper, nowhere. It's not visible, and we need to get the younger generation involved. So you need to use the forms of media that the younger generation is on. Social media, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, all these things. Need to have.
You can have conversations on Twitter. Can you have conversations on Facebook?
Yeah,
you not Messenger.
You put comments, right?
Yeah, but can you actually have a conversation?
Well, you could.
Because
Yeah.
that would get really long.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's how people argue on the interwebs. You just see it. It's crazy. He's not on Facebook, so he doesn't participate in the... I don't participate in the shenanigans. I just read it and laugh and go, man.
I read some of the shenanigans, too, in comments and stuff like that, but it's one of those things. You do have to make it more accessible.
If you want, or people are always crying, the younger generation is involved. It's because nobody tries to get them involved. All you old fogies are just sitting here, not getting with the times of how come these people aren't coming out to vote, or how come these people aren't involved in town meetings, because they don't know about them, and they're not engaged in them because it's not presented to them in a way that interests them, that incentivizes them. Yes, you have to incentivize these people to participate. So you need to make these town hall meetings. You post them on your Facebook page. Paste them on,
as well as okay,
promote it so it shows up on everybody's timeline.
Now, the reason why more people know about the Justin Trudeau one is because he's the Prime Minister. He's going around across Canada. All the newspapers are talking about it. All the news medias are talking about it. So yeah, it gets out there. So that works. But how many leaders have that time to go out around and do stuff like that?
You should make time.
You're right.
You're a product. You're an employee of the people. You should make time to go out and speak to them.
Now, here's a good example of the exact opposite. Here in Alberta, the finance minister is going around and talking to people about the finances because they want people's input.
Have an online thing too. Submit your ideas.
Yeah, well, I haven't looked into that just yet, but what it is there's meetings in Calgary, Verraville, Red Deer, Redwater, Medicine Hat, Grand Prairie, Fairview, and Edmonton. All the sessions are closed to the public. It's invite only.
I think that's why they have the online one. I think that's
there's supposed to be one where there's a phone-in aspect, and it's supposed to be with Notley, and you'll be able to phone in and ask a question and get answers. But really, you're talking about a phone-in.
Softballs. You'll probably have to screen your question before you actually ask it. It's like when you go to a sporting event and you have your sign, and they say, "Let me see your sign," and if it's too offensive, they take it away from you. So, it's like, hey, we're going to screen your question, and if it's okay, we're going to let it go through. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that happens. There's a one video of Trudeau's town hall thing where the lady in Ontario asked about the hydro, and because their hydro bill is like $1,000 or something silly like that, which is insane. Yeah. And he didn't even answer the question. He pretty much passed it off to...
he said it was the responsibility of the province, and it's just like, well, no, you're the one who's stating that we have to do green stuff.
Yeah.
So the provinces are the one in charge of it, but you're the one saying, do it, because I'm making you do it. So...
if you had Justin Trudeau in front of you, I'm putting you on the spot here. If you had him in front of you, what would you ask him? Or what would you say to him? You don't even have to ask a question. What would you say to him?
Tell them not to have a carbon tax and to make it, to legislate that housing projects have to have solar panels in them to charge them. For Canada to invest in green industry, but to actually own these companies and have people get into it instead of having private businesses. Because the carbon tax is just going to take money out of the economy and not actually do anything.
My question would be, do you believe that consumption taxes affect... or who do you believe consumption taxes affect more, the rich or the poor? Because he says he thinks about the middle class, but really, what's 5% to somebody who makes $10,000 a month? It's not a lot. What's 5% to somebody who makes $2,000 a month and has to budget every nickel? Imagine taking $100 out of, who could afford to lose the $100 more, say, right? If it's $100. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That $10,000 comes out of, I saw a conversation on Facebook and somebody said this, it doesn't affect me too much because I just won't eat out as much. Whereas somebody else probably is thinking, well, that's nice if you're you. Now I'm going to have to cut a meal out of my weekly plan because I can't afford to eat as much. You know what I mean? So that would be my question to any politician to support, or anybody who supports a carbon tax or any kind of consumption tax.
It's there's an actual Liberal MP that was elected to the federal government here in Calgary, which is just insane to think about. He shows a picture of him filling up his car, saying, "Oh, I don't mind paying the tax, the carbon tax." And then somebody pointed out, "It's like, well, yeah, because you get to charge your money to the government for fuel usage. So, of course I don't mind paying.
Of course,
tax,
the government
is charging the taxpayer anyways." It's like, okay, if you actually had to live on a real budget, because we know MPs make a lot of money. By comparison to most average people.
Well, they make them way over the average, probably the average salary for their
however much they make, they make double to.
I heard they made like $90,000 or something a year.
Oh yeah,
in Alberta or something.
It's and then they get a golden parachute too on top of it all. It is. And one thing I did notice with the Trudeau one was just how it almost seemed like they stacked the crowd. It didn't seem like it was because when Trudeau's standing up and there's a camera on him, it's women and children where he's standing, and it's just like, would they all really sit like that, or did they kind of arrange?
No, they're arranged. They're definitely arranged. These town halls are not. I don't think it's. I don't think it. To me, when I think of a meeting, it's stand up and ask your question. If you have a question, no matter who you are, ask it. Mm-hmm. To this, to me, it just feels more like, okay, we're going to take the softballs. Then there were some examples of what's it like having a prime minister for a father, and it's like, are you going to go to the grand reopening of this? That has nothing. What the hell kind of questions are those?
Yeah, exactly.
I want the tough questions.
2 questions right here.
Maybe we should go to the town hall when he's here.
Did you had to think about yours?
No, it was pretty easy.
Okay, he put me on the spot. I had no warning that I had to think of this. With a little bit of preparation, that question that I asked, I could actually articulate it more to make it sound better coming out instead of the stuttering that I did. But here in Calgary, I would hope that people would actually ask real questions. It's like, what's it like having a prime minister as a father? It's like, no. These aren't town halls. These are press conferences that are press conferences.
These are, hey, I want a little bit of fluffing. Questions.
Now, okay, for the finance minister here in Alberta, if he's going around and he has closed door meetings with people, if these people are business people, economics people, professors, teachers, doctors, I get it. You're having professionals coming in, but if he's just bringing in union people that work for the government, work for the bureaucracy, you're not going to learn anything. So, and it's great because the Calgary Sun is very critical of all governments. We're not invited to the consultations, but we'll offer our 2 cents anyways. Tax less, spend less. It's not rocket science.
Apparently it is rocket science, though. Because we continually vote in governments that overspend and overtax and, there's, I don't know.
We need a Ralph Klein. For those of you who don't know, Ralph Klein was a politician that took a chainsaw to the government and cut, some people will say to the bone, other people will say cut away a lot of fat. He balanced the budget and he got rid of the deficit. Alberta was the only province in Canada to owe no money to no one. We need more of that.
Okay. I think there's a different way to go about it, but that's for a whole different kettle, whatever the hell you want to call it. Maybe we'll try. Maybe I'll try to go to the town hall meeting. Well, maybe we'll see when it is, and maybe maybe we can try and get in there and get some live Facebook footage for you guys. I don't even know when it is, and this would be the first political thing I've ever been to in my whole life.
There we go. That's our mission. See where the Calgary one is, and
I'll ask my question. Hell yeah, I'll ask my question, and he'll give me some bullshit answer, and I'll call him on it because I don't care. I will, 100%. I don't care. If I ask a question and he didn't give me an answer, I would be like, you're not giving me an answer, Mr. Trudeau. I'd be like, listen, you say you're all about middle class. You say you're all about the working people, yet you're supporting something that affects the working people more than anybody else.
Well, there you go. So, tune in.
That's all.
We'll see what happens.
We'll have a look. We'll do some research, and if we can go, maybe that'll be our field trip.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a little field trip.
First little field trip.
We'll take some Facebook Live. So check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/CoullDiscussions.
And subscribe just to make sure
That's
you
right.
don't miss our
Make
answer
sure you follow
to
it. You hit the like.
questions.
That's right, because we'll post it up there. We'll post it on YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube channel if we go. Maybe we'll try and do it, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.